Hey, what's up, bootstrappers? It's Monday morning. What are you out doing? I am out heading to the bank, collecting some late rent payments that came in over the weekend, and then getting some probate deals done. Then I'm gonna go home and follow up on some of the postcards that came in, returned mail this morning. So I got to skip trace some of those leads, and of course, driving for dollars. So, had an epiphany over the weekend. Imagine that. When I shut off my phone. So Saturday is usually family day, and then of course Sundays are just it's my church spiritual day. So I stay off Facebook for the most part. I try to do my best on Sundays. I don't even get on. And yesterday was one of those days where I didn't even get on. I had my posted a little meme. I can do that from a third-party app, so I don't even have to get into Facebook. And that was it. So had some time reflecting, and I thought, you know what? What's up, Rusty? This group is definitely geared towards those that are just starting out, or those that may know how to do real estate investing but don't have a whole lot of funds. And so I'm going to get back to the basics on what bootstrap investing is really about, and start sharing a lot more tips about just basically bootstrapping it. So, but in the meantime, I'm also going to do some Motivational Mondays. So what are some of the questions you got? What are some of the areas where you feel like you need to improve? Or just if you want to share some of your motivational thoughts as well, go for it. So I will keep this up until I get to where I am going. My very first appointment. So I'm going to bypass the bank. I'm going to bypass probate leads right now, and I'm going to go get myself a nice little haircut. Because we're heading to the beach next week, and I want to look nice for my lady and my family. So, but yeah, this is the thought. You know, bootstrappers, in order to bootstrap this business, you really have to have the desire to get out there and actually do the work. I mean, most people that are bootstrapping is because they don't have the money. I mean, if you have the money, and there's two ways to get you know, to be a success in this business, to find deals. One, pay for it. You can hire someone to go do the work for you. You can buy a list. You can drop some mail. You can hire a telemarketer. You can do all kinds of stuff. And then number two is you just got to get out there and do it yourself. And that's what I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of just get out there and do it myself. I love the hunt. I love the drive, looking for dollars, trying to, you know, do the research, take stuff down, and just find where the opportunity lies. That's where my passion is. And it's because at the end of the day, I'm actually helping people. That's what really matters. So, and I'll tell you what though, I mean, you can hire some of this stuff out. You definitely can. You can have people drive for dollars. You can have people do other stuff. But if you don't have your finger on the pulse, you're missing out a huge opportunity. I just had to fire my VA. Let me roll my windows up so it's not all crazy for you all. So I just had to fire my VA because I had hired her for 4 weeks, $80 a week. You can do the math. I'm not going to belabor the point. And the first week, I didn't check her work because I was getting results. I was getting stuff. Second week, the results started to dive a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on? And this is a very common thing that happens when you hire out new help, especially in the VAs. My VA's in the Philippines, and so the second week was actually a week when I was doing a training, and I was like, oh crap, you know what, I really don't have the time to mess with this right now. So following that week was this last week, and I jumped inside. And the cool thing about Upwork is Upwork allows you to have screenshots where you can actually dive in and you can see what they're doing every hour that they're logged on. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the heck? I mean, she's like looking for jobs under like other call centers, looking for other kind of just employment stuff. And I'm like, I've given you what homework you need to do. I've given her a complete like a list of items that I'm looking for that I needed. And I said, if you need any clarification, come back to me. And she never came back to me. And of course, I could have given her more, but I was testing her on these items. And then I see that she's working for some dude in Alabama. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, she's like out there in Alabama, pulling all these leads for this dude, and it's all like on my screen. I'm like, I can see all the screenshots that Upwork does during the time that she's logged in under my account. And I'm like, okay, all right, this is so like. The week that I noticed this was before my training was that she was logging on, doing some other stuff, but she was still doing some other things that I'd asked her to. So it was kind of like a 50-50. I was like, okay, I'll address this when I'm done. Well, I'm done, and I'm looking at this past week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man. There was not one thing that she did for me that entire 20 hours worth of work that she had logged for me. It was all for another investor and or looking or applying for other jobs. So I I cut ties with that one. Blasted her on Upwork, gave her a poor review. I mean, it's unethical, it's dishonest. I mean, this is ridiculous. And she'd been doing this for a long time, where she's had a lot of success because she has a lot of recommendations, and Upwork will tell you how many hours that they've logged. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. She's billed like over like $2.5 or like almost $3,000 in time, and she's like $3 an hour. So I mean, that's a lot of time. And so if she's $3 an hour and she has, you know, almost $3,000, that's almost $1,000 or almost 1,000 hours. Is that how that works? $3 times 1,000. Yeah, she's had almost 1,000 hours worth of work. And it's just mind-boggling that someone would do this. So anyway, I go and I cancel it, and Upwork goes, I'm sorry, you've paid out these accounts. And so they also charge me for this week as well. I'm like, what the heck, man? So I'm getting charged for work that I've already disputed, and it's clear. I mean, they have, the reason why they have those screenshots is so you can go and you can dispute it. But anyway, $80 is $80 times whatever 4. So done there. We're all done. But it just was ridiculous. Hey, look at this office space in a law office. This guy does probate, and it's right across the street from the courthouse. I don't think I'm going to rent space with him, but still, not a bad location if I ever needed office space. There's a bunch of office space everywhere, actually. So, but anyway, so what questions do you have? I'm almost to my hair appointment. What questions do you have that I can go ahead and help you with this beautiful Monday morning? Get you up and going so that you are going to be a success. You got nothing. Nobody wants to chat. That means that's fantastic, actually. That means you guys are just crushing it today. Getting out there and doing your dirty work, making some money. Oh, what's up? I'm glad that I'm your guinea pig. Yeah, man, I'm sure I'm glad too. I'm glad that I recognized it sooner rather than later, because, man, I'm actually going to have to go back to my old VA. My old VA, I've had her for about 2.5 years, and then her mom got sick. And when her mom got sick, she has to cut back on her hours. I'm like, that's no problem. She's been hitting me up on Facebook. She's on my personal page, and also in my Messenger app and stuff. And she'll wave every once in a while. And whenever she waves, I usually just like throw her a couple of hours worth of work and then give her a bonus, because she's really quick. I mean, she just does it quick. But I haven't chatted with her to see how her mom's doing, because she was for a time almost like, I think her mom's in a coma, and so she was in a hospital just watching her mom like almost daily. I don't know if she's still doing that or not. And the problem that she was having where she was at is that the Wi-Fi would just crap out. I guess in the Philippines, here in California, we have what's called a brownout, which means that like if it's a super hot day and everyone has their air conditioner on, the power grid just shuts down, and like no one has air conditioning. It's like if one person can't have it, no one's gonna have it. And so that, I guess that's the same thing that they have. I guess they have mandatory like blackout for like internet services and power services, just rolling blackouts, just to, I guess the power grid is not that, I don't know what the infrastructure is like, but the way she was explaining it to me is that there's just not enough power to go around, and so they have to just do mandatory blackouts, and it was getting to a point where it was like almost every other day for like 8 or 10 hours there's these blackouts. And so she's like, I can't do any work. I apologize. It just is what it is right now. And so, I bootstrapped it. I started doing a lot of stuff myself. But now that I'm scaling and going into different markets, I actually really do need a VA to handle some of this stuff. What is the deal with barbershops, man? I can never get this right. How come barbershops are always closed on Monday? Like, I don't understand that. Like, I can go to like the Supercuts or something like that, but I don't want to pay like a glorified haircut for like, $35. And like, last time I did that, she goes, you want your sideburns? I'm like, nah, you can leave them. I'm like, I actually just trim them up. So she like trims them like all the way down to here. I'm like, shaves me to here. I'm like, what the heck, man? Oh, so I don't go there anymore, obviously. But yeah, I think this place is closed. Yeah, Tuesday through Friday. Barbershops are closed on Mondays, guys. So I guess I'm getting a haircut on a different day. So this means I get to go all the way back into town. So I get to talk to you guys for a little bit longer. But of course, nobody has any questions, so this is all great. Let's see what else is going on with my business. I recently I use Podio for my CRM, and I decided not to dive deep into Podio and to use it. I've been super successful with just keeping it simple with just a bunch of CRM, like just a sheet. Like I use a Google Sheet, and I have pages that are just set up. And so I'm actually going back to the old school way of tracking my numbers. I got my phone calls, my appointments, all of that stuff, and it just goes into my Google Sheets, and I have a tab for each step of the way. And basically, if you've gone through the training that I have, there's basically, there's 6 steps to get in a deal. You gotta identify the deal. You got to then contact the owner. Then you got to evaluate to see if it's if the numbers make sense. Of course, in the finding process, when you're identifying it, you're gonna do a precursor right there and just make sure the numbers are gonna make sense. It's, target market, whatever. If you're using property radar, you're gonna set your equity preference and all that stuff. So so the third step, of course, is to contact or to evaluate. 4th is to contract. 5th is to market it. 6th is to close it. So what I've done is I've actually set up my sheets so it just follows those tabs. I'm sure there's probably a CRM that is out there that's probably not that expensive, that follows. You can customize it to fit your workflow. I just don't know what it is. So for lack of spending too much time on the internet, you just go ahead and do it. I mean, that's probably probably one of the greatest strengths about being a bootstrapper is, forget it. If you can't find it, go out and make it happen. And it's also one of the weaknesses too, because there probably are better ways to do things, but you're using an archaic system. Like, for example, I paid over the weekend. So on all the properties that I sell or finance, I collect all the money, and then on the 6th, I'll go and I'll deposit the rent checks. And of course, today I got some rent checks. I got to go get some stragglers that came in. So once I get the rent, then I go and I pay. And then on the 8th is when I pay all of my mortgages. And the way I do it is I don't pay on a mortgage until I know that I've collected the money. Now, of course, I have the money to do that, but I want to make sure I know where this person's at. I'm not going to. That's just my checks and balances. It used to take me literally like 2.5 to 3 hours to write all these checks manually, and I'm just like, what am I doing? And finally, someone says, why don't you just do bill pay online? And I had some crazy guy in Florida. He's like, you never want to do that. No, you never want to let them know that you have money. You never want to give them your bank account because they're just going to draft and suck all that money out. And I'm like, dude, no one's going to suck money out of my account without me giving them permission, kind of a thing. And so with bill pay, you can do automatic bill pay or you can just do manual bill pay, but it's in the system there. And I was writing all these checks out, and because this guy put the fear of God in me that these guys are going to rape me if I wrote a check and they're just going to go, this guy has money, and just start siphoning my account. It's completely bogus, right? Anyway, some people are just, they still live in the Great Depression mindset, and this guy's one of them. So I then decided, I'm going to put the bill pay in. So I put the bill pay in. It's cut it down to 45 minutes, literally. So I'll go and I'll put all of the information in that I need to. And I'm looking for this place, and it's probably way back that way. I'll go around the block. And so now it takes me, like I said, 45 minutes. And the way that I do it is I got my checkbook. I manually input the draft that comes out and all of this stuff, and then I write paid on my. I look at the paper bill. I write paid. I put it in the file, so that's there. And then I have a property P&L, so I put the property P&L in, and the numbers. It tells me what my profit is, and I have a master P&L for the month, and those numbers need to match up, and so they all match up. It takes me about 45 minutes, like I said. And a quicker way would just to put everything on automatic bill pay, and so I don't even have to manually make that transfer or the send it off in my bank account. It saves me a step. I still got to write it in my checkbook ledger because my wife does all the checkbook stuff, so she still she checks that out and whatnot. But I've got it down to a system, so I'm sure there's a better way to do this. But for me, for the longest time, it was okay just to sit there and write those checks. But now, like I said, when it turned into 2.5, 3 hours, I was like, I can't do this. This is murder. And like I said, now it's only 45 minutes, and I think I've actually gotten that down to probably about 35 minutes. So, but it just there are certain processes and procedures that, as a bootstrapper, you're just going to go ahead and you're going to make it happen. The bottom line is you have to do the work. You have to do the work, and in doing the work, you're going to find a simpler way. You're going to find a way that works for you. You're going to find a way that's profitable, that's time efficient, and there's no other way around it. And what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. What works for you might not work for me. And that's what I'm finding when it comes to that's where I want to go right there. When it comes to to bootstrapping stuff, is that I can call and ask my buddy. I can go, hey, what are you doing here? And he can say, oh, this is how I'm doing it. And I can go, okay, that's cool. But again, I then try to adapt it into my business, and I'm like, that doesn't work quite right, man. I mean, I'm different. I have different things, and the hardest thing too is when you talk to other real estate investors, and they have their solutions. Yeah, they have solutions for traditional rentals, which some of the solutions will work, but then they also have solutions for like fix and flip. I'm like, I'm not a fix and flip guy. I don't do that. So some of the things that they're doing is it's counterintuitive to what I'm doing. So anyway, I am where I'm at. Any last questions you might have or want? Is that barber open? No, that barber's closed too. What's that noise? Oh, that's my window. All right, so last chance. Going once, going twice. And I'm gonna go pull some probate leads, get some stuff mailed out here. Oh, hey Rusty, if you're still on here, I will create a video for you and I will show you, and I'll put it in the Founders Club. I will show you exactly how to do when you get the probate leads. Once you've inputted them into the Excel spreadsheet, how to automatically just from one push of the button, it'll just push and mail merge everything and mail it all out one time for you. So what I'll do today is after I have my VA, either today or tomorrow, I'm gonna take a picture of my leads, and then I'm gonna have my VA in the Philippines, the one whose mom is in the coma. I'm gonna have her go ahead and upload those to my Google Sheets, and then I'm gonna go ahead after that. Hey, what's up, Sal? Show you exactly. I'll do a video for you on that, Rusty. Okay. Sorry guys, that's for my my founders group. These are guys that have paid money to invest into to work personally with me, but I'll still throw you guys some nuggets every once in a while. But anyway, all right, I'm Ryan Nickel. I'll see you all later. Just remember guys, you are one deal away from changing your entire financial future. Never forget that. That's the motivation that you need to keep on going and find that deal, because once you make it happen, man, it's all